Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the RaceKraft Simulations V8 Vet Split 4 broadcast coming to you this evening for round 4 from the one and only Donington Park in the beautiful Midlands of the UK. I'm John Van Ree. With me is Mark Dial. How are you, Mark?
Yeah, good, thanks, John.
Yeah, very tough little technical circuit, this one. Very famous. If I was to say where my most famous lap in Formula One is, it would be the 1987 European Grand Prix from Donington, where one Ayrton Senna started from 6th and led the lap after the first lap. Have a chance, try and Google it on YouTube and watch it. Very hard to find these days because F1's closed down a lot of pages. Anyway, we'll definitely carry on. We'll have a quick look at this circuit. Very famous circuit, of course, for British motorsport. And, of course, we start on the Wheatcroft Straight, heading down into Redgate, where we've got to pull the car up, get it through to the right. And then we sweep down the hill through the famous Craner curves into the old hairpin, where we then come around through the sweeping turn 5, the left-hander on underneath Starkey's Bridge, and then up cresting across at McLaren, where we then come up over the hill into Coppice. And then we head down the Starkey Straight, which has a lovely little rise in it that can catch you out with your gears. And then we make you pull up the car and get it through the S's, through the chicane. And then we head downhill into the world-famous Melbourne hairpin. And then we come out of Melbourne hairpin, up the hill, and then we've got to manage to get around Goddard's, where it's very difficult to see where the apex of the corner is. And then once we get out of Goddard, we then head back down the Wheatcroft Straight to complete the lap. Looking at about a 1 minute 32, 33 seconds for this circuit. It is a tough little place to race. As you can see, the straights are not very long and not very many passing opportunities. So you've got to make the most of other people's mistakes. And definitely, I think there will be a few, just quietly. But we'll have to wait and see for that. Of course, today's ANZAC Day as well, so I just want to pass on our regards to those that have served and those that are serving for us, and those that, of course, gave the ultimate sacrifice for us to live today. So pass on our respects, and got to remember that one. So, of course, all the guys will be running ANZAC liveries as well, so very special round that we hold once a year. And speaking of battles, let's have a look. This is where the points stand after 3 rounds. Of course, we didn't race last week due to the iRacing maintenance. Very annoying having it start at 9 o'clock on an evening. Made it very difficult to program. So is definitely Darryl Callahan leading on 518 points from Daniel Schaefer. Rob Baxter sitting in 3rd from Adam Hughes in 4th. Braden O'Loughlin, Peter Wilkinson, Marty Hughes, Lester Craig, Darren Friend and Jeff Sandsford rounds out the top 10. Of course, no drop rounds counted in that one, and we do know that a bit further down in 22nd, Lukey Powell has 2 bullets against his name already, a couple of bullets. And Darryl Callahan also with a race win last time out at Mid-Ohio. So definitely a interesting competition at the moment. So got to keep a close eye on that. We'll come back, we'll review it after the race and have a bit of a look. And speaking of the race, Mark, let's go and have a look at the grid and let's see how that all panned out. And, of course, not much of a surprise. Lukey Powell on pole with a 1:31.348. Half a second ahead of the rookie Nathan Cadman. Great to see Nathan on the front row. The bloke has been showing a lot of pace in the first couple of races. So good to see him actually get a good pole time laid, a good quality time laid out. Marty Hughes from Pacific Esports sitting in 3rd on the second row with KO Billo from We Race as well. So another rookie in the top 4. So 2 rookies in the top 2 rows. And then we go on to the 3rd row, the all-rookie row with Brad Grant and Nathan Favaro from Tulip Racing. Brad Grant, of course, racing with Team AJR. Go to the 8th row, we've got Rob Baxter from CX2 alongside Lester Craig from Shadow Racing. So great result from Lester, dropping himself in the 4th row. So only got in the top 4 rows 3 guys that have raced here before. So this is very, very interesting to watch how these guys all tackle this start. Get on to the 5th row, Ross Watson for Misfits. Great to see Ross back in the top 10. Carl Pickering finally cracks the top 10 in qualifying. He's been telling us for a long time that qualifying is his weak link. That is a great effort from him. And then on the 6th row, Philip Whiting from Passion Sim Racing lines up alongside Shane Patterson from Nova Sim Sports. Great result from Pato sitting there in 12th on the 6th row. Should be pretty chuffed with that one, I would think. As we go over the page, Daniel Schaefer on the 7th row lines up alongside the championship leader, Darryl Callahan. So interesting to see what Daz can do from there. And then we go on to the 8th row with Darren Friend from Old Mates and Sons, and he lines up alongside Kevin O'Neill from We Race. And then on the 9th row, John Van Ree from WKMP lines up alongside Simon Pitt from Southern Cross Racing. And then on the 10th row, we've got Jeff Eddy from Team AJR and Doug Wright from Old Mates and Sons. 11th row, Tommy DeWitt didn't put in a good qualifying time. Was a bit disappointed with that one. And he lines up alongside Angry Bird Racing's Darren Walden. And then on the 23rd, we have Peter Wilkinson, and he lines up alongside Adam Hughes from Gamma Flare Esports. So Adam a bit further back than we probably expected to see him. Let's go over the page. Bruce Galloway, he's lining up in 25th alongside Matty Fu from Apex Esports. 27th is Dave Baldock. The D37R entry lines up alongside Omen Racing's Glenn Wilbo. 29th was Darren Freer, and he lines up alongside Fishy Motorsports, Peter Morris. And then we have on the next row, on the 16th row, we've got Neil Waters from Player One Racing lining up alongside PJM's Philip Marsh. And then in 33rd is Anita Buckland from Old Mates and Sons, and she lines up alongside Quantum Racing's Craig Rose. David Logstar from Team AJR in 35th, lined up alongside Vaughan Robinson. And then over the page, we should see our race control, of course, which is Travis. Lucas Burt was in the safety car. Lucas Neal was our head chief race control. And Gunther Nordschleif starting up the back. So you'll see how the German goes on English soil. And we will head back now and get ourselves sorted. So interesting grid, Mark.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
A lot of rookies doing well.
They are doing very well. They are working very hard, and we are starting to see some interesting results from them. Anyway, we will get ourselves a bit organised with this one, and we will light the wick on it, I think.
Yeah, sounds good.
And let's get...
Not too many of those rookies jump up into split 3 next season.
Oh, they're knocking on the door. Let's have a look anyway. We'll see what's going to happen, as hopefully everything else is right. And we're away with some very quiet car sound. Shouldn't be that quiet. They're getting a bit closer. And look at that. That is Marty Hughes on the inside, getting the jump on power. But Cadman jumps them all. It is a great start from Cadman. Gets himself into P1. A little bit of movement a bit further back. Van Ree's got up in next to Patterson. So that's already a move happening in here. I was just looking for Darren Walden. It's coming down into the hairpin for the first time. Sneaks up the inside of Pato. Sorry, Pato, got to show that. Going back to Walden. He's under all sorts of pressure. So definitely thick action a bit further back. So great to see these ANZAC liveries as well. Heading up into McLaren. Into McLaren, Walden gets a tap and he's off into the fence. So that is not a great start for him. Baxter already up 2 spots.
Car 92.
We'll just mute that chat. It's continuing on, keeping a bit of an eye on Baxter. He's gotten a good start, working our way back. Schaefer's in the mix there, going to go back. Henry lining up against Pickering. This will play into what happens next. A nice little move for the first time down into the Melbourne hairpin. Gets the job done. Patterson comes through the inside. The Witt tucked up behind. And he's overshot. Bit of a tap. Just going to quickly change cameras here if I can. Looking for my mate Dave Baldock. He's in the middle of this as well. Another tap there. He straightens up Morris. And we got a bit of netcode. And Morris is in the fence. So definitely a lot of stuff happening there very early. Lukey Powell has managed to get himself past Cadman as well. So a lot of action real quick there in his first couple of laps. First lap, really. A lot of debris on the...
A lot of gravel there.
A lot of gravel, yeah. That's back at McLaren. So these boys coming through for lap 2. keeping an eye on where everybody is. You can see this leading four: Luke Powell, Cadman, Marty Hughes, K.O. Philo. So we've got two of the rookies here in the top four, still battling away. Powell looking very under control. Marty Hughes now having a look on Cadman, gets the job done. Cadman opens up a little bit there, lets him through. Plays the smart move. And just going back. Aaron has lost his front end from that incident earlier. So he's struggling a little bit. Right, coming down, I reckon he'd be having some steering issues to go with that.
Yeah.
And a bit of gravel on the road. He's got through there all right. Not the wrong thing, I think. We'll move on. And where's my mate Neil Waters? He has held his ground and position, so he's got himself through lap 2 okay. And a few other battles. Doug Wright. He is tucked up just in front of Adam Hughes. So Doug's doing all right. He's held his ground as well. Usually up 3 spots is what we would have expected. There's no car sound.
990.
It's very quiet, isn't it? Righto. Give me 2 seconds, Sean. What we might do, Mark, is we might hit the old that one, and we hit the old that one, and while that is on. And we will go back with this one, and my ears will go bang. That should be a bit better now.
Yep, I can hear.
Yep. Lap 3, Wright's doing quite well. Not too many big moves. Bruce Galloway's up, got himself up 7 spots already in the 18th. There's on lap 4.
I think if I remember rightly, I thought I'd seen Gunter up quite a few spots from the.
He's up 14.
What's that? He's up 14, yeah, doing well.
Doing quite well.
Someone at the end of pit lane.
Of course, running the Dean Flavel camouflage livery.
That was good. There were a lot of good paints last night.
There's a lot of good paints. Every year, everyone goes next level.
Yeah.
Right, very technical circuit. He's driving pretty well, chasing down Darren Freer in front. Fred Grant shuffling back a little bit to these boys. I think he's just dropped in and out. I think I just lost him. Freer just in front of Gunter, hanging on to the back of this group in front of him, which includes Jeff Eddy, Peter Wilkinson. Darren looking for a good move up the inside here. Trying to establish the overlap. They tuck right up behind Jeff Eddy.
This is the fun part of the circuit, down to under the bridge, and then I just like it after that.
Great little battle here, this group. Come around.
Himself too.
Oh, he's a little sideways.
Oh.
And a bit of a whack from Gunter as well.
First tap's a warning.
Yep. Gets under control. Great little battles everywhere. Gunter gets his way through. Adam Hughes down the lane. He's going to go back up the front. Luke Powell, he's out the 2.5 seconds now. Hughes nearly 2 seconds ahead, so these boys starting to spread out a bit. Rob Baxter doing really well, up 2 spots in 5th. Ross Watson up 3 in 6th. Nathan Favreau's dropped 1. Dan Schaefer, he's up 5, sitting in 8th at the moment, so that is a great start from him. He'd be pretty happy with that. Phil Whiting, he's in the top 10, and Lester Craig's hanging on. Bruce Galloway now up 10 spots. That is a fair crack in itself. Driving very, very well. Who's the guest commentator? Mark Dial. Nathan?
I don't know whether I'm a guest. I'm here all the time.
And of course, more than welcome to come and jump in. Galloway doing very well. And going to go a bit further back. Anita Buckland, she's putting a bit of pressure on here on Marshy. He's running lap 7. Gonna find our mate Kevin O'Neill. He's trying to catch Bruce Galloway under a lot of pressure from Tommy DeWitt behind. Tommy shows the nose. Neil clips the grass. Oh no. Very lucky not to come across the track in front of everyone else. That is quite a few spots knocked off there.
Yeah.
So that is knocking him back down the order. Jump on the Schaefer and Whiting now. Of course, only 50 laps tonight and 200 Ks. And definitely doing quite well, young Daniel. It's going to jump on with Matty Fu. He's putting the pressure on Wilco. It's a very tough place to pass around here. Doing quite well. Wilco, of course, formidable. A bit loose. That's going to cost him a few spots. A few lengths anyway.
It wasn't hard to do out of that corner though.
Matty Fu, of course, for Apex, running a great looking ANZAC livery as well. Another greatly presented car. How long for now? Have a look how Lester Craig's going. He's still sitting in the top 10. Of course, representing the USAF, being the American driver that he is. He's tucked right up behind Whiting and Schaefer. This battle getting very exciting. All of them using a lot of curb. Oh, he's gone deep. Can he hold on to it? Oh, he's giving Schaefer a tap. That is a tough spot to sit. There's quite a few cars here. Not where you really want to be. One round the outside, inside, outside. Done very well not to be collected.
Yeah.
That is a great effort from Leicester. Oh. As it tumbles down the order, we'll go back up to the top.
He wasn't too thrilled with that, but
Well, it was.
did he head down? Not going again?
Let's move on to lap 9. Just gonna suss out this bloke. Haven't had a look at his livery. Bulldog here making a move on Hughes. Could be past of the century.
Dave, you shorten up. You don't need to put camouflage on so we can't see you even more.
It's doing well. Doing very well. He had a spotter with him last night. Seemed to help. Copping a bit of dust there.
Wide. Yeah, it's definitely.
Here we go. Here we go. Beautiful pirouette. That's how you correct. That's how you collect yourself. Don't mucking around there. Nice little flick spin. Away we go.
Well done.
Won't mention what was said.
I can imagine. Yeah, it is good to have a spotter, except when your spotter has you running at 500 mils across the line on the last lap, but you don't actually make it. Mr. Doble, I will remind you of that from Donington. That was very annoying, I can tell you right now.
Righto. Let's get a few more of the liveries. A lot of people go into a lot of effort. Of course, the Dazzle camouflage used by the troop carriers carrying our troops from Australia to the Middle East. Up on our mate Rob Baxter. TX2. Nice. Couple of insignias on there. Ross Watson, of course, another great looking livery as well. And the Misfit boys. I was really impressed with the liveries last night. The guys have really gone above and beyond.
Yeah, I've seen the ones from Split One and had sort of browse through split threes in the warm up. So yeah, that was very good.
Patterson, not sure what's going on here. I think he's livery loaded for me. And Marshy, of course, he always does a sensational, well presented livery for Anzac Day. Yeah, so very well presented by everybody. So huge thank you to all the teams that went out and got their liveries and stuff done. So so let's just work our way through. Bruce Galloway still up 13 spots now with Wilco. Lap 12. Rob Baxter trying to hang on to Ross, starting to fall to Nathan. Vero putting a fair bit of pressure on here. Ooh, that's a bit of a sneaky look.
Very easy corner to get wrong if you've got your braking point wrong. You're out wide. Very hard to pull it up.
Very much a flow track, so you had to be very with it, and if you missed it, you were getting whacked over the nose. Vero down one spot, but doing very well here, hanging onto the back of Baxter. Starting to see a few boys off into the pits. A little bit wide there from, I think, Marty Hughes and Watson into the pits.
13, 14 was
Yeah, I think 14.
on the first thing.
Power still going way out in front. Baxter still going behind here. No, we haven't seen a drop, Marty, and the forecast has basically got rid of it. So this whole inch they'd been talking about for the last 10 days is turning into zero. Hey. Baxter not doing too bad. What's that?
Somebody up in the corner there in the hairpin.
Yeah, I think that might have been Vaughan, I think. Got himself going again. I'm jealous. Definitely do with that.
4 is in.
Yep, top 4 in. Rob Baxter is our race leader.
He's running a couple of extra points for him.
Didn't quite roll out that way. Does the 1 lap. Doesn't quite jag it from what we gathered.
Oh, pit stop, not in the right spot.
Hmm.
Pit bay,
Yeah.
Bugger.
If you had an early pit bay, you went across the line. And if the person you were passing, of course, would have the first pit bay.
Oh, don't worry, John, you'll get some rain because we copped it here big time.
Marty was saying they got 35 mils at Swan Hill.
Yeah.
Definitely do with it. The jump on. Cadman's come back out. He's tucked up behind Hughes. So this is where the battle is starting to get quite interesting now. Lap 15. Gotta say, like, blue flags, people's racecraft last night was all really impressive. I was really chuffed.
Oh, he's doing a bit of lawnmower.
Might have been Wilbo, I think. So Baxter's in now. And someone else will be coming in too. Ain't no fuel left in the tank. And I ain't no Hoffy. Oh. Rosie getting out of the way, letting the boys come through. So Power's back out in front. Marty Hughes in second. Cadman in third. That's rolled out. Cadman now having a really good look at the back of this Pacific Esports car. Bold in the mix there, a little bit of a tap.
Unfortunately, John, that rain isn't coming down to Robbie. It's going straight into Melbourne.
Yep. Apologies for that, Marty. I did do a complete refresh of all the liveries this afternoon, so I'll make sure I had everyone's current one. There's lap 16. I think we might have an issue with Glenn Wilbo. I think. No. Lost him. I think Glenn's just towed from hitting a wall. Luke Allman. Yeah, I wasn't going to talk about that. A little bit of a pit issue. And then thought he had to tow. Didn't realise he was on the jacks. Yeah, so it cost him a bit of time in the pit lane. Had an issue or 6. Oh, there's something going on with Rob. Right, one. Where's Phil? Phil looking to make some moves here. And speeding as well. Yep. You'd mentioned that. Cadman's still keeping the pressure on Hughes. He's got himself about 15 seconds ahead now of KO behind him. And KO, he is battling pretty hard still. Another one of our rookies doing quite well this season. Keeping the pressure well and truly on. Might just quickly have a look at a couple more of the deliveries I didn't get a chance to show before. The Quantum boys had a very, very lovely tribute with their livery. Tim's done a sensational job again. Looks very smart. And Peter Morris, of course, the Fishy boys. Michael Whiting always goes above and beyond. A very touching tribute. And then, of course, I think it's a Lancaster in the back rear quarter panel, dropping poppies. Very well presented. Of course, we did say Dave Baldock can't quite see the tribute to his grandfather on the roof. Of course, all the other WKMP cars with a tribute to Albert Barella, the VC winner, Richie Barella's grandfather. Who else we? Simon Pitt. Yeah, looks like Southern Cross livery. I haven't got one on that. Of course, some people have changed their liveries as well since last night, so makes it a bit harder. Oh, jump back on. Gunter, he's under all sorts of pressure from Anita. Anita driving very well. Up in 18 spot, up 15. Gunter up 23 spots. Simon Pitt tucked in behind these guys. A lap 19, not quite halfway yet. Jeff Eddy's bonnet. Yep. I'll see if I can get you that one. Luke, where's Jeff? There he is. Jeff sitting in 14th, up 5 spots. And hopefully this will work. There we go. You can see tribute, the ANZAC tribute. Of course, the team very much makes up the ANZAC tradition with a mix of Australian and New Zealand drivers with an American thrown into the mix. So yeah, some very fitting liveries being run last night.
That's good to see.
Yeah, let's just see if we can pick another battle. Lester Craig, he's working his way back, tucked up behind Pitty. And looks like Adam Hughes in the middle here having a look as well on the outside. Hughes, he's not quite getting it done. A good little battle pack we got here. Might be battling from 12 to 17, but road from 16 down the 21. These boys all having a real dip. Gunter going a little wide. Anita. Go, Anita. Oh, why'd you back out? Oh, you had him. You forced him wide and everything. Oh, you got him. Anita, that is pressure. That is pressure. That is absolute pressure. Well done. That is what pressure does. As we go back to the front of this group. No, definitely a good move there. We'll just stay on board with Anita here for a minute. Lap 21. That wasn't on my run sheet, so sorry, Laurel.
I bet you didn't tell you about it either.
Waters and Baxter side by side, and we've got a lap traffic coming through the mix here as well, giving Baxter a little tap.
Oh.
That's our race leader in the mix. Of course, we haven't shown Neil's livery. They'll player one, boys. It's another striking paint job as well. These boys, that is a cracker. And the race leader on the radio there. So interesting to see what stewards have to say about that one. Let's just jump back up. Have a quick look at Matty Fu. He's sitting up 14 spots in 12th. Great drive from him. At lap 23. And jump a bit further up the front. KO Fellow still sitting in 4th. He's doing quite well. There's Kevin's jumped in and joined us. How are you, Kevin? Put himself muted. Yeah. Results on pen sheet. I know what the result is, Rob. I'm just being nice. The KO doing very well. You have to say, Kevin, he's been a bit of a find. You still get yourself muted, mate. All right, so KO doing very well here. He has Ross Watson about 1 second behind. He's 18 seconds behind Cadman. Cadman, Hughes and Powell absolutely cleared out here. These boys doing very well. It's great to see the rookies come in, start with some good racecraft, show a fair bit of pace, drive very well. Classic example here, so bit of slow traffic there. The boys get out of the way nicely. A little tap. Oh, Marshy straightened him up though. Could have been a lot worse than what it was. He got that going. It's in a straight line. Didn't lose too much. As Ross Watson tucked up behind though. And it's going to go back up to Marty Hughes and Cadman. Cadman's starting to put the pressure on. So this battle's starting to intensify a little bit. Well, you always got to love the centre helmet at Donington, as we talked about at the start of the broadcast. The 87 European Grand Prix in the wet at Donington, lap 1. Find it on YouTube, find it on Facebook. If you haven't seen it, you've got to watch it. From P6 to P1 in a lap. And it didn't call Ayrton the Rainmaster for nothing. And Cadman sitting P3. This guy has shown pace over the first 3 rounds, Mark. Probably a bit further back than where he probably deserved to be. But has shown a lot of pace when fighting through the pack. And has been very, very good in terms of just learning his racecraft. So all he's got to get correct, the racecraft. And then I think he will be a contender for the back half of this series.
He seems to have very good lines too. He's not missing apexes.
A bit of a tweak there from Hughes. This is his opportunity. This is his opportunity. Oh no! No! That's contact with Hughes on his front. Oh no!
Oh, can you grab?
Oh!
Oh!
It's just.
Oh wow!
Oh!
It got worse.
That is. Oh! Unlucky. Tough corner to make a move. Had a look. Take your hat off, but yeah, that is just very rough. That. Anyway, he's limping back to the pits. Still got a car. The race isn't over. Still got half a race distance to go. We'll jump back here in this battle here with Craig Hughes and Buckland. Or Doug Wright, sorry. Leader a bit further back. Where's my other mate, Mr. Waters? Let's keep an eye on him as well. Oh, having a bit of a look, Lester. No, backs out of it. These boys having a real dip. This is a great little battle. These guys have been battling like this for at least 10 laps.
Yeah, I'm just remembering the running commentary we were getting from inside Leicester's car. Oh my God, why did you break there? That was funny.
Mr. Waters. And a little bit of a tap on Mr. Baxter. Probably not quite a tap. Mr. Baxter lives to play another day. And so does Neil. Let's just go back to that battle for 16th. course, an ANZAC Day tribute on the bonnet there as well of the Gamma Flare esports entry. Hey, Pickering into the pits. This was a bit surprising for me. It was very early. Lap 27, so I'm not sure whether he had any damage or anything, but it seemed very early to be heading home. Oh, he could get home from here. Hey, we'll see if this pays off with a massive undercut. A bit further forward here, Pitty. Putting a lot of pressure on Doug Wright.
We're just climbing back.
Gonna go have a look at Jeff. I think he's got a refreshed Nathan Cadman behind him. I'm sure there would have been a fast repair used in that last pit stop. 27 laps, should be able to get home from here.
I see you're cruising along just nicely, very quietly inside the top 10.
Yeah, just... But yeah, what, how many races have we done here? And then
Yeah.
how many weeks have we been here? And it's never flowed, and then last night it just flowed, so work that one out.
Yep.
Okay.
We've done quite a few here.
We've done a few. And then, of course, 2 weeks of practice for the night. Probably a little bit easier in the dry. Those who are not happy that we missed out on a wet race, I can tell you winter is coming.
I can tell you Donington's not a place to be going around, is it?
But the problem is, every time I mention a track, everyone looks at me and goes, no, you shouldn't do that. And of course, round 4. Ooh. Warren having a bit of a look there as well on Pico. Tommy DeWitt putting a bit of pressure on Walden. Hey, Tommy with a bit of a rough night, getting a stop and hold for the first one. A little bit wide there, I think, from Walden. Yeah, got to stop and hold for the incident with Pato on lap 1, and yeah, hard battle back from there. Rain at Barber. Don't know, I haven't looked at the forecast. There'll be no rain at Barber. I can tell you that now.
Rain at Winton would be interesting.
Well, you do know we're having a drought here in northeast Victoria, Mark, so...
No, not from what it sounds like on my roof at the moment.
So, state of play at the moment, Luke Powell is miles ahead. He's 18-second lead over Marty Hughes. Marty Hughes got a 16-second lead over KO at the moment, so they're looking both fairly comfortable. KO has himself 8 seconds up the road from Favero. Favero is 3 seconds up the road from Friend, who's 3 seconds up the road from Watson, 3 seconds up the road from Schaefer. Then Whiting, he's up 3 spots. He's doing very well. Van Ree up 8 spots in 9th. Matty Fu up 16 spots in 10th. Doing well, the rookie from Apex Esports. Bruce Galloway, he's up 14 spots in 11th. That's a great drive from Bruce. And Peter Wilkinson up 9 spots in 14th. So some good drives so far. It's at the stage. Lap 35 is the 2/3 race distance. So just about at the stage now where we'll start to see these guys dialing in for their second stops. Let's have a quick look at some pit laps and times so everyone can get a bit of an idea what's going on. So lap 14 was when Powell came in, 13 for Hughes, 14 for most of them. Whiting went in at 10, so that was a bit earlier. Cadman at 25, of course, after that incident. So a little bit of movement there on the board. So starting to see Pickering in on 26. That was the other one that we need to keep an eye on. Let's have a look at the pit time so I can get a bit of an idea. So Powell was a long stop at 30 seconds, 38 seconds for Favero. So Favero wouldn't have a hell of a lot of fuel to put in. He must have filled the tank. 25 for Friend, 30 for Watson, Schaefer, Whiting 32, 28 for Van Ree, and 38 for Fu, 14 for Cadman in that second stop. So he was obviously on for a good look. If that was what he had to do for that second stop, was 14 seconds. Yeah. He was on for a great result. So some interesting pit times in there. So we'll start to see these guys roll some strats out. Let's have a look at some best lap times. Powell, of course, sort of done a 1:31.707. Marty Hughes with a 1:32.1, 1:32.5. So definitely seeing some lap times roll out. Some good consistent times there across the board from most people. But Powell absolutely flying with that 1:31.7.
Hughes, a bit late.
And Marty Hughes, he's the first one to peel off. So KO keeps going. Favero, he's going to keep going. So interesting. Here we go. Friendy's in.
Yep.
Waters and Gunter are in as well. Gunter on the way out. Of course, typical English pit where you go bumper to bumper to bumper.
Yeah, I know. That's shocking.
What do we see here? I think we stayed out.
I wouldn't want to be in a motion rig.
You know about it. He's my good friend Jeff. He's sitting in 14th, up 5. Watson and Friend about to come out. Jeff doing very well. Like he gets up and races at 4 o'clock in the morning with us. Harley Davidson salesman from Akron, New York, upstate New York near Buffalo. Struggles with the time differences during our daylight saving and them not having daylight saving. And the back half of the year, the whole time frame rolls around and works for us. Baxter in the pits still. It's finally leaving the pits. This has been a long stop. Down 16 spots. Hey, Baxter, it was 13 seconds for that one. So the first one was a very long stop. Callahan, he long stop there as well. I think he had a toe in that. That's commitment to the team. That is very good commitment, Luke. I do believe Saturday morning he plays a replay of our broadcast, so if you're in the showroom in Akron, buy a Harley off Jeff. And of course, the Southern Cross boys. Running a livery to a Ukrainian division on their roof as well. Pitty doing quite well here. He's up 5 spots in 13th. He'd be pretty happy with that. And as we go back up here, this is where the real battle is. Friendy now chasing Philo as Favero into the lane. Crunch! Oh, no! That is Philo back, Powell in the lane. Okay, got the car going, so not too much damage there. Darren Friend, he's still going. There's a Galloway pit in the lane now. And a jump here, Lester Craig tucked up behind his compatriot Jeff Eddy. And start to see the boys all rolling out of the pits. Okay, just about shaping up for the battle home. The old Melbourne hairpin. Ooh. Highlights the different lines you can take going around the Melbourne hairpins. Puts himself on the outside. Philo here definitely driving well. Not quite going to get the exit there that he needs. Side squeezes in the inside. Should have the job done here at Redgate. Nicely moves on. Bit of a battle a bit further back with Pico. Carl driving very well here. Could be on for his first top 10. course, if you're talking those sorts of things, have a chat to Mike Coraliff. He was running a livery advertising Continence pants, so he knows all about it from what I can gather. Hey, Pickering doing well and keeping Doug here under a lot of pressure.
Oh, he is.
And Pico, nice move. And that is dug into the lane. Where's my mate Rob Baxter? How's he getting on? So Rob has made 2 stops.
Hold himself in the top 20.
Yeah, trying to get a bit of recovery. Very calm, patient driving here from Baxter. Of course, next week we head off to Barber.
A very interesting track.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't been there for a while.
Particularly when you go and find all the artistic objects around the place. Baxter looking up the inside. Oh!
Just click.
Just clipped him. I think Wright might have seen him coming as well. So both got 0x for that.
Wow.
Which for those playing along at home, Doug goes on and becomes one of the 2 drivers in the race to be 0x as well. So that is a cracking effort around this place. So Whiting now absolutely battling in P8. He's putting a lot of pressure on Schaefer. So these are some of the boys that are definitely going to be contenders for some of the spots. But not even a 0x. There you go. Both very lucky. They're definitely working very hard. There's Daniel. Well, that's not good news. Nice. Callahan trying to get a move done on Anita. Adam Hughes getting past Jeff Eddy. So 10 laps to go. The race starting to tick down. The jump on with Matty Fu. So he's got Cadman tucked up behind me. So Cadman's done quite well. He's recovered a bit. He's got himself back to 12th. Down 10 spots though. A little bit ginger into the S's this time. Fu doing very well. He's holding his ground, not making it easy for Cadman.
Yeah, hold the line and make him work for it.
So here we go. This time up the inside. It's going to get the job done, I think. Go back up to the Whiting-Schaefer battle. That's getting closer and closer as well. So a couple of good battles here to finish. Of course, Luke Powell is 26 seconds ahead of Hughes, 16 seconds ahead of Favreau, 14 ahead of Watson. Watson just ahead of Schaefer and Whiting, who's on screen at the moment. So these guys absolutely battling it off. I said chili beans. And Nate's got that move done. Gonna go. Keep an eye on a few of these battles.
Certainly some close ones
Yeah, Darren Friend this time. So he's pulled away. Cadman absolutely flying. Whoop. And gets the job done at Coppice. It's a lolly in the tin. Just go back, another battle. Adam Hughes, Bruce Galloway, big lock up. Lap's starting to tick down. Mr. Craig a little bit wide there. And Friendy, he's got Matty Fu behind him now. Oh my God. If I told you it was an alcoholic beverage on ice in my flask, would you believe me? It's not boiled lollies. I'm not giving anyone boiled lollies. Don't care how old you are. Front. Yeah. The gap was big up the front. They did have a lot of traffic and did work well. Let's jump up Schaefer and Whiting. They're still going very well. Of course, Luke lapped everybody up to 13 at the moment. Maybe you can get a tin of boiled lollies and rattle it. The Split 2 broadcast tomorrow night at 8:30 with Hamish Munro and Brett Fisher. And the boys can come in and guess how many boiled lollies are in the tin. Don't forget, Split 2 tomorrow night at 8:30. Split 3 boys at 6:30. Coming to you live from on the other side of the ditch. From the stories I've been hearing, some very interesting storylines in both of them. Cadman now, he's up on back of Pickering. He's flying, this boy.
He is.
Pico in the top 10. He'd be pretty chuffed with that. As he said, he hasn't been top 10 yet. Lukey Powell, we haven't mentioned him too much. He's out there still. Oi! A mistake from Pico. Cadman built the pressure. Built the pressure and spat out like a poor tasting boiled lolly.
As long as it's not one of those black ones, they're terrible.
No comment. Let's go back. Bruce Galloway, Jeff Eddy. This battle here is still intensifying with Adam Hughes. So these guys are going to be fighting this one out all the way to the flag. We are only less than 5 laps from home now. It is definitely getting interesting up and down the grid. And Schaefer wide in that battle's been going. A little bit further back, Anita Buckland under all sorts of pressure, or putting all sorts of pressure on her teammate Doug Wright. Of course, Doug at this stage, one of 2 drivers to be 0X. I'm sure Anita would be sitting behind him quoting the Gunter mantra. First tap's a warning, second tap you're off. So the field pretty much spread out a bit at the moment now. As you can see on the track map in the top right corner. Yeah, I reckon you would have been, Bruce. And a pretty good look at the rear of that Adam Hughes car in front of you as well. A little bit of tyre smoke there. And go back up to Schaefer. It's a couple of battle packs. Phil working extremely hard here. And Ross ain't that far in front of him. They can see Ross off in the distance. It looks like he's pulled away a little bit now, Schaefer. So Whiting probably conceding that gap a bit. So not too many gaps left. Galloway, Eddie, and Craig. And then Pickering slowly dropping back off Cadman. With Matty Fu slowly starting to catch up there. And just gonna come back to Galloway. Galloway still has Eddie behind him. These guys have been fighting very, very tightly for a little while. Walden and Robinson in the pits have been for a lap or two. Gonna jump on with Luke Power, our race leader. Now worked his way up to 12th or 13th. So he has done an impeccable race. Driving very well for someone who was going to miss a few races. And I think we got lucky with the postponed race. He goes through. Annoyingly, I was only a couple of corners away from not being lapped, which will become relevant about something else in a second. My own race. So Powell about to start the last lap. We'll go back to this battle. These boys still going toe to toe. No, it's a battle for 16th, but they've driven really well. Gunter saying, Nita saying she was scared by Gunter in the last few laps. Anytime Gunter's behind you, Anita, I'm scared too, so don't feel too worried about that. So Ross Watson is going to hang on here from Schaefer. They've started, about to come and start the last lap. So Matty Fu is up 16 spots in the top 10. Tommy DeWitt has a little bit of a look there and a bit of a lock up. Now back up to here. We can keep an eye on where number 1 is. And this bloke has done extremely well. Apart from one little incident, copped himself a penalty. He has got himself home and hosed. That is a great result for Luke Powell. Marty Hughes. He is done very well. I think he'd be pretty chuffed to get himself home in P2 here. And quite convincingly from Favero as well. And then Favero. So the Tulip Racing entry. He's going to have himself a good 12 seconds ahead of Ross Watson.
Well done, Pody. That was clean.
Watson's just going to hang on from Schaefer. This was the battle we're looking at. Schaefer gives it a skinful, hoping for a trip out of nowhere. Doesn't quite get it done. Manages to hang on. And Matty Fu. We've got to go back and have a look at that, actually. He's run out of fuel. So he's in front of Friendy. So that was the race. And Luke Powell, definitely a very deserving winner, that one. Done a great job. Marty Hughes home in P2. Nathan Favero in third. Great result for all of those guys. Friendy's about to go across the line now, so they're just about all done. Haven't got anyone in here to come and have a chat with us. So I will all like to thank their team sponsors. I know Luke would want to be thanking M1 Cars, Pecky Performance, Dyno and Tune. I think they're the main two sponsors of the M1 lads. He'd be wanting to thank Dave Burridge and Dave Crosby and Darren Crosby for his help as well. And of course, Marty Hughes. I know he would like to be thanking, of course, all the boys, Pacific Esports. Yeah, there's quite a few lads out there in that team that would have been all supporting him and cheering him on. And of course, Gus just disappeared on me, which is not great. Still there. I haven't shown up on that camera. Yeah, so he's got quite a few guys he'd like to thank as well. And of course, the Lake Edge Resorts over on the coast, on the south coast as well. So he'd be wanting to be thanking those guys. And Nathan Favero, of course, he is part of the Tulip Racing Group. And he'd be wanting to thank Martin Lipsky and all the boys over there at Tulip Racing. A great result for him. So we've got one of our rookies on the podium. Can't complain with that one, Mark. And kind of leads us into our next question. Who is the Chubby Buns drive of the day?
Yes, it's very interesting. I'm just looking there. I'm thinking Daniel Schaefer's done well to be up 8.
Yeah.
And Nathan's drive for a podium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Fui up 15 in 11th.
Yeah.
Should have been 10th, but he ran out of fuel.
Cool.
Just got to check something on that one. But yeah, look, I'm probably thinking, no one's throwing anything at us in the chat either.
Yeah, I know.
No help. It's not Rob Baxter. He's down 12 spots. Oh, look. I reckon we're going to see more out of Nathan Favero based on that one. So I reckon we might go with Matty Fu. What do you reckon?
Yep.
He's not on track, so I'm
15, yeah.
going to have to go back a lap. Up 15 spots. That's a fair effort from Matty. I think he'd be pretty chuffed with that one. Where am I? Drive of the day. Yeah, where's my text button gone? Oh, that's not typing. That's great. Modern technology works well sometimes. Could be user error. So congratulations to Matty Fu, who is, of course, our Chubby Buns Burgers drive of the day. Huge thank you, of course, to all of our league sponsors, but no, huge thank you to Chubby Buns for our drive of the day sponsorship. Muchly, greatly appreciated. If you are in Sydney, I think it's 5 magnificent locations. Punch Bowl's one of them. I highly recommend get down to a Chubby Buns, have a burger, and definitely enjoy it. I try to get one when I'm in Sydney. Definitely something that's worth doing and doing well is having a decent burger, and that's what they do at Chubby Buns. Next week, Mark, we did mention it. We are going to Barber Motorsport Park. Barber, of course, a very interesting place. If you get time, go for a look around the circuit. You've got spiders, you've got crickets, you've got rockmen, you've got ants, you've got all sorts of weird stuff. Bloke on a motorbike, all metal artwork around the place. Yeah. And
It's a very interesting track. It's very technical.
Very technical, very undulating, very, very interesting place. I have raced there. This will be the first time I'll be there in the Gen 3 car, so I'm interested to see how the Gen 3 car goes, particularly turns 4, I think it is, up over the rise. These things don't have as much aero as what Gen 2s do, so it'd be very interesting to see how loose it is over that. And the Rockman, yep, we got them as well. Definitely going to be a fun place to race. Looking forward to that one. And before we go, if my mouse works, before we go, let's have a quick wrap up of the championship board as well. And of course, after 4 rounds, Daniel Schaefer is our championship leader from Marty Hughes. Of course, there's no drop rounds in this. I'll start bringing one in for next week. And Rob Baxter still sitting in P3. He's doing well after that one with the 19th. So Pete Wilkinson in 4th, Phil Whiting in 5th, Darren Friend in 6th, Adam Hughes, Lester Craig, Pickering, KO, Philo, Jeff Eddy, Van Ree, Powell, and Galloway, and then Baldock. So, like I said, start throwing drops in, everything changes. And we'll see how that all pans out when we get to that one. Life's a journey, a Gunter sticker or a real Gunter?
Motorbike.
Talking about good on a motorbike. At Barber. So yeah, I was about to say
it might be Gunter.
There are Gunter stickers around. Trust me, I've seen some more pop up. Yeah, so that's pretty much where we are at with that one. We might wrap this broadcast up, Mark. Huge thank you, of course, to yourself for coming in and joining me. And a huge thank you, of course, to RaceKraft Simulations, Chubby Buns, Sud Speeds, Player One, Logitech G, West End Mazda Group, or Motor Group, sorry, otherwise known, or the part of that franchise is, of course, Parramatta Isuzu Utes. And, of course, LGC Images. Reg does such a bloody great job for us as well with all of that. All the images that we get out, and of course, all the championship winners from season 22 should all have their posters now. I believe they were all mailed a week or 2 ago, so they should have all turned up. Of course, Nova Sim Sports as well.
Get your paints in
yes.
So you can have it on the broadcast.
Yes, so I will pump them out tonight split 4, just with it being the ANZAC round. So all the liveries I've got in the broadcast tonight will get to Reggie. I'll do that as soon as I get off. Just huge thank you to the sponsors, and a huge thank you, of course, to our race control teams. Those guys put in such a cracking effort. Huge thank you to the admin or the management group, Bruce, Scotty, and Dave. Definitely nice having a bit more support with that at the moment. Both Scotty and myself being extremely busy. On that note, we might wrap it up with saying the final thank yous, of course, to everyone out there watching. Great to have you all back again. Great to be back on a Friday night with weddings and Easter and iRacing saying no. So it's good to be back, and we'll see everybody again next Friday night from Barber Motorsport Park. Thanks for watching.
Yep, will do.
Can't wait to hear those engines roar. Hot days and summer nights, finish line in the sights. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. There'll be sparks flying, rubber burning, doors banging, temperatures rising. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. There'll be hot days and summer nights, finish line in the sights. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. There'll be sparks flying, rubber burning, doors banging, temperatures rising. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. They're gonna roll. Ooh, they're gonna roll.
Introducing the RaceKraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed The Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with a 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G-belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a RaceKraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The RaceKraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.